Hi, folks. This is Frank Miele from HeartlandDiaryUSA.com and columnist for Real Clear Politics. I wanted to let you know that I will have a column coming out on Monday exposing the outrageous behavior of Kasie Hunt of MSNBC. Hunt was hosting MTP Daily in place of Chuck Todd on Tuesday, and she made the ridiculous and outrageous claim that our President of the United States was ready to start a race war, putting him in the same camp as Charles Manson and the worst of neo-Nazis and Adolf Hitler. It is unbelievable that this has gone under the radar. Kasie Hunt has not suffered any consequences for this ridiculous accusation, and so far as I know, MSNBC has no plans to remove her from the air as they should be doing. I want you to hear what she said, and you'll see the entire clip of her preliminary discussion of this issue, as well as the statement that she makes during her panel discussion about a race war. Get ready. And folks, let's take the country back.
So I'm going to run through some of the craziness on Meet the Press with Chuck Todd that happened on Monday when Kasie Hunt was hosting, and this will be the topic of my column on Monday at Real Clear Politics. So let's listen to the beginning.
If it's Tuesday, divide and conquer. The White House offers up a few changes to the famous Statue of Liberty poem about immigrants, putting the spotlight once again on the president's campaign to stoke racial division.
That's the opening, and you heard Kasie talk about the president's campaign to stoke racial division, and essentially she is hearing dog whistles, as she likes to say, that don't really exist in reality.
If it's Tuesday, it's Meet the Press Daily. I'm Kasie Hunt in Washington, in for Chuck Todd. There is no longer any question about what kind of campaign the president is running. He is staking his re-election on stoking racial divisions with megaphones and with dog whistles. After just yesterday announcing a plan to penalize legal immigrants who rely on public benefits like Medicaid or food stamps, one of the president's top immigration officials suggested a rewrite to the poem on the Statue of Liberty.
Would you also agree that Emma Lazarus's words etched on the Statue of Liberty, "Give me your tired, your poor," are also part of the American ethos?
They certainly are. Give me your tired and your poor who can stand on their own 2 feet and who will not become a public charge.
We should probably stop there and point out that Emma Lazarus's poem at the bottom of the Statue of Liberty is not U.S. policy, it is U.S. poetry.
President Trump, when asked today about changing the poem on the Statue of Liberty, defended his administration's new hardline policy for legal immigrants.
Well, I don't think it's fair to have the American taxpayer, it's about America first. I don't think it's fair to have the American taxpayer pay for people to come into the United States. So what we've done is institute what took place many, many years ago at our founding, virtually. But we are just reinstituting it, and I think it's long overdue.
As the Washington Post points out, the president is dialing up the culture wars in a divisive play for 2020 votes. Quote, the president is following much the same strategy that he pursued in 2016, inserting himself into the issues his supporters are already discussing and using blunt us against them language without regard to nuance or political correctness. We have seen that strategy again and again in just the past month, whether it was telling 4 freshman Democrats to go back to where they came from, or attacking Congressman Elijah Cummings for representing a, quote, rodent-infested district, or rejecting that his rhetoric played a role in the El Paso shooting, or defending the massive ICE raids on undocumented immigrants. The strategy of stoking racial division worked for President Trump in 2016. The question now, will it work in 2020, and what are Democrats doing to fight against it? want to welcome.
The question here is, how does MSNBC get away with not having to declare this as a campaign contribution to the Democratic Party? You just heard a completely biased, one-sided attack on President Trump, and yet there's no accountability, no expectation for fair play, and no attempt to provide the other side of the issue, which of course is that the United States has a right to dictate its own immigration policy without catering to the whims of those who want to come into our country. So there's one more piece here that I need to play, need to skip ahead to it, as in her questioning, she actually makes a statement which is quite remarkable. I'm going to try to find it.
Neera, how do Democrats fight against this? I mean, this is an incredibly challenging landscape on which to have to run a presidential campaign, and every single day. I mean, clearly the president is ready to wage a race war.
Absolutely, and I think this is.
Okay, there we go. So the president is ready to wage a race war, and yet an actual journalist is allowed to make that claim without any documentation, without any explanation, without any punishment. It's absolutely astounding. MSNBC has to be held accountable for this. This is ridiculous. You can read more about my take on Kasie Hunt and MSNBC and their attack on President Trump, again at my column, which will appear at Real Clear Politics on Monday and will appear on my website, heartlanddiaryusa.com, as well. Please check it out.